遊びだったんですか？
あ？
もう
痛いのどんだけ
しますよ、ユキ先輩。
Students in the Food Research Club fight back when their club is threatened. Hello and welcome back to our channel Ice Guy. Today, we are going to do a recap of the anime series called Love, Election, and Chocolate. Ep 1. One night, a girl, atop a building, carefully stalks her target, two people, carrying briefcases in the dark of the night. It turns out that these two people, one of them a member of the General Affairs Committee, are engaged in a shady transaction, and certain documents are exchanged for a large sum of money. The girl quickly grabs snapshots of the transaction using her digital camera, and when the two targets leave quietly, she casually leaves her post. However, someone already tracked her location, and in a split second, the girl, who witnessed the exchange, was hit over by that certain someone and left the girl in a pool of her blood with the evidence destroyed for good. Meanwhile, what appears to be a normal day for Yuuki Ujima begins. He gets woken up by his dormitory neighbor and childhood friend, Chisato Sumiyoshi, and during their conversation, ends up getting slapped for showing something weird that morning. The two later meet up with Mifuyu Kiba, who comforts Yuuki for being slapped in the cheek by Chisato, and they quickly head off to school. They quickly head to the Food Research Club headquarters, where Yuuki is welcomed by Mikairu Morishita, who is looking for something while trying to sneak her hand under a cabinet. Then, the club advisor, Heizuki Shinano, comes in to bring them grim news, but not after chugging down a mug of beer in the morning. Soon, she tells the club that the Food Research Club, among many others, is in danger of being shut down due to a move by Satsuki Shinano, who now runs for the position of Student Council President. Moheiji is forced to shift the topic to avoid being scrutinized himself, so he suggests returning to the main topic. The topic of Satsuki's initiative quickly reached the school, and many of the other clubs involved voiced their concern for their respective clubs, which will be closed down, in favor of better appropriation of school funds. Of course, the Food Research Club had this talked about as well, and since they have already dismissed the possibility of Satsuki not taking her plans seriously, they decided to look at the candidates in the meantime. Soon, a rather well-endowed girl collides with Yuuki, and as they see her go on a bus ride heading for the school's factory, Yuuko picks up what appears to be the girl's key that she dropped during the collision. Upon returning to the Food Research Club headquarters, Chisato voices out her refusal in supporting Moheiji. This leaves the club in a pinch without someone that can oppose Shinano's plans. Heizuki then suggests that the club itself should choose someone who would run for the student council elections. Yuuki thinks that it is an impossible feat since they would face fully established people in the student council. However, Chisato points out that there are no other options left, and there's nothing to lose.
決めなきゃな。誰が出馬するんだ？え？俺？
Yuuki sees it as being lazy. Chisato announces as president of the snack club she orders Yuuki to run for president of the student council. It then morphs into a dream or memory of baby Chisato, and Yuuki wishing someone a happy wedding day. The lovely bride says this young couple must be in love as well. Yuuki seems confused about the topic, so Chisato tries to explain this to him. This sends teenager Yuuki out of dreamland and into reality, where Chisato is laying in his bed. She allows for this despite the fact he is calling her a pervert. She tries to talk to Yuuki about the student council business again, but he threatens to quit the club if she forces him to go through with it. Chisato reports to the club about what Yuuki has done, and everyone is pretty upset. Yum volunteers to get Yuuki back and proceeds to call the boy. He tells Yuuki that after their night of passion, he is now with a child and Yuuki can't leave his baby right. Yuuki and his newfound freedom decide to take a walk around town trolling for girls. He soon comes across some girls. One is named Ayumu, but none can get Yuuki's name right, which pisses him off. Next, Yuuki is nearly run over by a girl on a bike. Unfortunately, Yuuki does not die and the culprit turns out to be Satsuki. Yuuki spends the next 5 minutes apologizing to her. She bikes off and Yuuki thinks he is the luckiest guy in the world. Yuuki eventually gets himself to the school to turn in the key that the random girl dropped on the ground last week. The girl Asara thanks Yuuki a million times, and Yuuki asks her if she belongs to any club. Just then he starts remembering that poor people aren't allowed to join clubs because they are poor. She runs off to work and Yuuki continues on his way. Yuuki makes it outside to find Satsuki has broken her bike into a million pieces, and he fixes it in 5 seconds.
はい、治りましたよ。
これで拭いて。
Then Yuuki decides to have an awkward conversation about why she wants to close the club down. Satsuki gives good reasons and then encourages Yuuki to run as well as it is the club's last hope. Yuuki has a lot to think about and goes on his merry way again. Only he is flung to the ground by two guys and they decide to beat him up. Only Yakumo, the current student council president, is like the back of my faithful bodyguard. For some reason, Yuuki implies he is going to run for the position and Yakumo wishes him luck as the club will need saving. He says a lot of other stuff. Yuuki ends up back at the snack club to see Nozomi's newest creation has blown up and created a huge mess. Yuuki breaks out into an inspirational speech that they need to come together and elect one of them to run for president to save their useless club from being disbanded. Yuuki thought he was talking up Chisato to take the job, but surprise, he is elected to run again. Yuuki has no choice but to run but expects the others to help him. Chisato and Yuuki walk home together. Chisato buys him a chocolate bar as she hates chocolate, so she says, looking all sad. Ep 3, the snack club has been turned into run for president headquarters. Chisato nominates herself as president, but no one knows what to do next. Ms. Heizuki tries to rein in the morons and informs the group that Yuuki needs 10% of the votes to move on past the primary. That is 600 votes, which make the group worry. Several members suggest stupid ways to earn votes, but Yuuki has enough brains to say that this is not going to work.
きないぞ。
選挙のノウハウを持ってる部員。
力強いんですな。
そんなのそうそういる。
Yakumo, the current president, walks in and says he wants to help Yuuki run for president. Instead of being grateful for any help, Ms. Heizuki and Chisato are immediately suspicious and question Yakumo's motives. Yakumo confesses that backing an independent this year will mean his party will have a better chance of winning next year, rather than the two major parties winning. And since Yakumo's main stance is to help out clubs that are in trouble and Satsuki's main platform seems to be killing those clubs, Yuuki is the logical choice. People point out that the other two major parties might just attack Satsuki's point as well, making them the stronger contenders. Yakumo seems to think that Yuuki will still reach the other clubs better as he will be from the people. He promises the group 400 votes, which makes Ms. Heizuki wonder if he should have more say. That means they need to make up 200 more votes to get past the primaries. The person who is most excited about this agreement is Yuma, as now he wants to sleep with Yakumo too. Yakumo proves to be a pro at assigning tasks and getting people to do what he wants. Yuuki is rather impressed. Chisato asks two of her friends to be ahead of the election committee. Ms. Heizuki meets with Satsuki on the roof, and it becomes clear Satsuki is difficult to deal with as she is trying to meet up with her half-sister's impossible standards that were set earlier in life. Chisato and Yuuki have to take a break from talking to people, so Yakumo goes on a mission to get drinks. At the vending machine, Satsuki approaches Yuuki and they explain pleasant words. Chisato does not believe in being that close to the competition and turns into a crazy person. Ep 4, Yuuki is looking at his flyer on the potential candidate bulletin board. There are about 423,756 other candidates, and Yuuki questions if he has a chance. He runs into Asara, who is spending her free time away from the factory doing maintenance at the school. Two of her classmates walk by and start whispering that she smells. In the club room, Yuuki dreams of deodorant while Chitos talks about how running an election is expensive. No one wants to contribute any of their own money, and using club funds is against the rules. Yakumo appears and lays out the cold hard facts about what things will cost for this election.
訴えたい人数が多いと。
市議会議員が毎日何十件。
Yakumo explains that they should raise money during the bazaar, which is what most independent runners do. Nozomi suggests that they make food, Ujima rolls, and goes into great detail about what the food is. The price point is discussed, as well as Yuuki saying he can't make them all alone. Putting aside that Yuuki has to do all the work, they decide on handing out freebies in terms of yai sticks with Yuuki's name on them. People soon complain about how much work it is to put on the labels as Yuuki is sent off to get the ingredients alone. He walks by the courtyard to see other people setting up. Yuuki stops and sees Satsuki yelling at one useless club on wasteful spending. After yelling at the Air Sumo Club, Yuuki and Satsuki talk. Satsuki talks about how she has to be strict or else the school will go to hell. She says that Yuuki needs to read her proposals as he is only focusing on the club's disbanding. Yuuki returns to the club room and focuses on looking up Satsuki's proposal. They include changing how scholarship students are classified at school. As Yuuki is reading this over, Asara is harassed by some girls in her grade who are pissed that she is talking to Yuuki. They take her outside and beat her up. As Yuuki, Chisato, and Mafuyu walk home, they see Asara looking through the trash. They go to help her, but she yells at them that she is fine. Later, as Asara tries to finish up her work late into the night, it is revealed that the girls stole Asara's underwear and put it in the trash. And that's all for today, guys. If you liked the recap and want more summaries like this, consider subscribing to our channel.